All right. Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Nezir Waya here with EzLivingMD.DPT. Here again to talk about energy. This is our focus for the month of July. Energy is not a limited resource. I'm going to say it again. Energy is not a limited resource. And since the pandemic, one of the biggest things we've seen that has been at an all-time high is this tiredness and chronic fatigue that everybody's coming up with. And it is just everywhere. And it's not a coincidence. Yes, there's been a lot of things that have happened since the pandemic, financially for some people, with relationships for some people, but most importantly, to the actual physical body. Okay. And so, what is the focus on when this is happening? Now, if you know me, I'm going to go through over some things here with the mitochondria and some other parts of the actual physical body, a little bit about the science and some things you can watch out for. But if you know me, I like paying a lot of attention to the mental and emotional aspects of everything that's going on because that's one thing that's overlooked. It's usually very simple. When they talk about heal thyself, that's where you have the power to do that. Okay. And so I like to harp on those things. As you can always do Dr. Google for a lot of these other things that I'm talking about, even though that has its own dangers, because you need to understand what your issue is versus going all over the place and doing, trying A, B, C, and D. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to talk about why this energy is so important. A lot of us don't realize that energy is so important because just to heal, you need energy. We're going around tired all the time. We've made a label for ourselves. Well, I'm always tired and I'm exhausted and this. Like it's okay to go around doing this. You're predisposing yourself for everything. The body can't function well. Okay. You're more likely to have chronic diseases, chronic issues, chronic pain, because there's no energy for the body to take to heal all those things. Now, there's two things that happens with energy. There's actual physical energy that the body needs for healing that a lot of people are depleted of. But there's also this internal energy that makes a big deal when it comes to just your immune health and how the body responds. Like, what do I mean? This is important because with our check medical scan, we can see this. With our check medical scan, there are people that will come in and they're saying they're so exhausted, but the scan is giving us like 60, 70% energy levels. There's a lot of mental and emotional drain, and they have created a pattern for themselves and they're stuck in a program because these people will sometimes be sick and they won't fall apart. Now, the other subset of people, which I've been a part of with all my exercise and jumping that I've been doing for years, they're energetic, they look fit, they look healthy, they're working out. And this happened to some very energetic people, fitness trainers and stuff during the pandemic. And they were hit with COVID and they were so sick, they were completely floored. Some people ended up in the ICU. And you're looking at them like, wait, what just happened? Did he just ended up in the ICU? I thought he was healthy and strong. Those people will come in telling me, I feel just fine. And our check medical scan is reading like 20, 30%. We're like, sure you is. No, you ain't. Okay. So that's what I mean by paying attention to energy and the different, what is your own particular problem with energy? That's a big differentiation right there. And that's what I mean by when you're running around doing all these things, when you can get a simple check medical scan with us and be able to determine which is which for you. Because then you'll be able to hone in what is actually going to work for you. Because people with that 20, 30%, we need to do something right away to boost them physically, whether it's IV vitamin therapy, some of our mitochondrial supplements. We have a mitochondrial specific protein powder that we can give people that they can start using in their smoothies, that we can do for them. Versus the other side where we're like, we need to work on the mental, emotional stuff, the programming, get you some flower herb homeopathic remedies so we can start working on all of that stuff and see what is really going on. And we talk about rest and meditation for those types of people. And and that's the thing. It's such a simple thing because for those types of people, a simple tweak in something you do mentally and emotionally will completely perk that part up. Anyway, not to digress, the pandemic. There's a lot of systems that have been hit with the pandemic. Okay, when I talk about the pandemic, I'm talking about like the virus, I'm talking about, the remedies that people have taken in to kind of boost their immune system for it, things like that. A lot of systems have been hit. The immune system's been hit, the gut's been hit, the mitochondria has been hit, A lot of it. But I'm focusing today on two of those major things because I know you've heard a lot about gut health. We've heard a lot about the immune system. We're talking about the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse in all of our cells, like your battery. That's what gets everything jump started. And for our men out there, okay, the mitochondria is very densely in the male reproductive system. So when it gets hit, you can think about what gets hit, right? Okay. So the mitochondria, what kind of things are affecting this mitochondria that's supposed to be our energy source and powerhouse in the physical cells of our bodies? Things like lack of sleep, EMF, because the mitochondria, believe it or not, produces a lot of melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. Now, why is that important? Because when you're in restful sleep and the body has that good circadian rhythm that comes with optimal melatonin production, the body's nervous system, which is also affected, is then going into the relaxed part of the nervous system. The nervous system has two parts, for stress and the other for relaxation. The one for stress is our sympathetic, and the one for relaxation is our parasympathetic. Now, this one, that's our parasympathetic for relaxation. You remember the movie Sleeping Beauty? And she's looking all young and wonderful. That is the nervous system that we need rest for detoxification, for cell and organ healing, for cell rejuvenation, for cell regeneration, all that stuff. That's where we need that balance. That's why the melatonin is important. And I don't know if some of you recognize this, but a lot of times when this pandemic started, people were recommending for people to take melatonin, and it was helping with all the stuff that came with the pandemic, if you know what I mean. All right, so it was helping with that stuff. And so melatonin, again, important, mitochondria producing some of that. So what kind of things are going to block all of that? EMF, cell phones, Wi-Fi, electromagnetic frequencies. Those are going to block the mitochondria block the melatonin production in general. Okay, and that's also going to affect the nervous system and energy. What other things can impair the mitochondria? I know I'm talking a lot about the pandemic, but think about things like chemotherapeutic drugs if you ever done chemotherapy. Cholesterol lowering medications have been shown to disrupt the mitochondria. Some blood pressure medications do that too. Heavy metals, a lot of heavy metals, toxicity, aluminum, mercury, all those things. Microbes, bad bacteria, parasites are very notorious, causing a lot of disruption with energy in the body. Okay. And so while sometimes we can do parasite cleanses, the thing about parasite cleanses, they're wonderful, but they don't hit certain target pockets in the body where some of these things can hide, whether it's in your liver and your spleen or places where you've had any kind of surgeries or injuries. Those are little pockets where they hide. And that's where things like bioresonance and biomagnetism comes into place, because that helps open up those pockets to release them. But anyway, those things will impair mitochondrial health. And so we want to start thinking about what can we do to make the mitochondria rejuvenate itself. We talk about mitochondrial detoxification. And me, again, I like to go for more of the natural things that you can do, especially when it comes to EMF, which is everywhere and toxic. Did I mention pesticides and herbicides will also block mitochondrial health? Yes. But anyway, EMF, we want to reduce all those things, especially before bedtime, so that you can have adequate melatonin production. You want to be able to go out and do some grounding to dissipate all of that EMF from the body. Grounding is like a powerful antioxidant for the body. And not just doing it once or twice, but doing it regularly. The mental and emotional system will affect even your healing and energy processes as well. So start thinking about more of releasing worry, fear, stress. That unconscious activation needs to be taken care of as well. The biggest thing that is overlooked with energy is what the fatigued mind and body can create. When your mind and body is tired, you cannot have optimal solutions for anything in your life. You can't imagine and create the life that you desire. You're working from a suboptimal space. And we've learned to just keep going when we're tired, especially us women. I'm tired, but we keep going. You can't make great decisions. You can't live your life like you can't be alive, like fully alive. You can't make decisions that are going to honor like your true heart's desires when you're tired. Not to talk about the fact that your physical body itself cannot even like do what it needs to do to function. Okay, we're thinking about just the physical aspect when we're tired. We're not thinking about the fact that we're more prone to diseases, we're more prone to things like cancer, we're more prone to chronic pain. We are making horrible decisions when our energy is low. You cannot live your best life. You cannot live abundantly. You can't make good business decisions. You just can't make great decisions from that point in your life. And those are the big things that we're missing. Okay, now testing. Mitochondrial health and testing. I already talked about there's a whole host of symptoms that you can use to just know what mitochondrial like issues are. That's one. Two, our check medical scan that we use over here. There are organic acid testings, specifically that a lot of functional medicine providers will use. Those are very expensive. I usually will go ahead and target the mitochondria anyway. Why? Because we have some key factors in there that start getting depleted as we age. It's things like CoQ10. I don't believe it's depleted just because we age. I believe it's depleted because we're not doing the things that we were meant to be doing naturally so that we keep optimal levels. So they say, oh, it naturally declines. Sure. But those things start to decline anyway. And so my point is by just treating it versus wasting money to just do the test, not only are you going to probably get your energy back with the mitochondria functioning, but even if it isn't, you're getting yourself some anti-aging therapies anyway. So why not just do that and find out how that's going to work for you? That's how I work. I'm not very big on unnecessary testing, which is why I love my check medical scan, 7 to 8 minutes, get a lot of information. Let's go. Okay. All right. So you can do those kinds of tests to talk about mitochondrial dysfunction. We have herbs and supplements that target the mitochondria. CoQ10 is a big one that people will take. Omega-3 fatty acids is also good for mitochondrial health. The source is important. There are people that have certain ways with the way the body functions, which I do testing for because this is important, that do not need to be taking any fish oils. Those do not help their body and their body types. They need to take more plant-based oils. So be on the safe side. If you're not sure, you do more plant-based oils. But otherwise, I usually will check to know which of those omega-3 fatty acid sources is going to be best for you when it comes to healing your mitochondria. Okay. And I already talked about sleep, adequate sleep. That's also very important. I try to address that with my first phase of any of my programs. We need sleep, we need energy because the body needs that resource just to heal from whatever it is you're trying to do. And not only that, anti-aging. Hello, everybody. Things like glutathione and acetylcysteine, all those things will also help the mitochondria. And then the big one, which I like to talk about all the time because there is mitochondrial poisoning from a lot of toxins in the world everywhere, okay, is detox, detox, and detox. We want to keep detoxing. Anything that's going to remove any kind of toxins from the body, heavy metals from the body, pesticides, herbicides, all those things that block mitochondrial function is going to help. So you want to keep detoxing because it eventually will help the body regain its optimal state when you continuously have a lifestyle that also talks and considers detox. Not always taking something in. We also want to remove out. This is a natural cycle of life. Okay? And so thinking about all those things. Now, did I harp on everything I wanted to harp on today? I was kind of a little scattered. I will do this again. Have a wonderful and a blessed day. One love. Ashe. And stream.